Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. First of all, I would like to say sorry. I haven't been doing a lot of real estate video lately, but been enjoying a lot of time with my kids, and that's why I'm just post random video here and there of us going to trips and stuff like that. But hopefully I'll be able to pick up again and start doing a regular update on real estate for my audience that are interested in my real estate investment journey. Today's video is about why the 1% rule might not no longer work. So if you're in real estate for long enough, you know what a 1% rule is. And typically, if you do a quick search on on Google, you see the text of the 1% rule is the 1% rule in real estate is a quick screening tool stating that a rental property monthly rent should equate to at least 1% of the total purchase price, regardless of repair or any profit or cash flow. So technically, you just take the so what you do with the formula is you multiply by the total acquisition cost, which is the price of purchase and the price of repair, by a 0.01, which is 1%. And if that's the rent, then that fit the 1% rule. A simple example is if a home costs $200,000, then you should be able to gross it around $2,000 a month, right? We in real estate, anybody who's investing in real estate know that when you fit this rule, chances are the property will cash flow, right? So on paper, it's look perfect, but then let's see if the reality, it's what it is, right? So I have a property right now that generate well over 1% a month in gross rent. On paper, it looks really good. In reality, I'm not sure. So if you follow my channel long enough, you know that I post a video about this property I purchased back in November of 2025. This is in Barstow. The purchase price is $1,670,000. Current rent is around 18,000 per month. So it's gross around 18,000 per month because there's 14 units, and an average I believe was like average rent was like that much, 1295. So 1295 times 14 is around $18,130 a month. So that's an average rent. So that does fit the 1% rule, and this is the calculator that I use. So put in the price here, my long term, and then the mortgage 30%, and then if your rental revenue is like 1.1, 18,100, and if I use my my used to be conservative estimate, this is how much it came out. Monthly income, miscellaneous laundry, mortgage is fixed, property tax is kind of fixed, insurance is up and down a bit, but I use around 13,500 a year, so divide by 12, that's how much insurance is. And I estimate maintenance to be around 8%, as you can see here. I multiply by this unit, this right here, so I estimate it to be 8% for maintenance, 5% for electricity utilities, another 5% for vacancy, and 7% for more management. So overall, you're taking the revenue and you divide it by the current you subtract all the expenses. The calculator itself gave it around $3,181 profit per month. So because this fit the 1% rule, and it fit in the norm of how much estimate for all the repairs, maintenance, and then electricity, gas, and vacancy and management, it should net somewhat of a profit, right? But the thing is, like, if you this let's say that what we came into the property, when we purchase property, that's what we use to decide how much to purchase the property for. And so we did purchase that, right? And so the gross rent should be around at least 1%, right? So this is we use it to quickly scan any deal. So for example, let's say the property is a million. If you are able to bring in rent like 10,000 a month, then most likely it's worth to look at in detail for that property because it might be a good deal, right? So the real versus the specific. So purchase price versus monthly rent. So the yield could be actually like one, even this one is like 1. I think this is like, let's see how much is this. This is this divided by the price. So this is actually a 1.08%. So it's even more than 1% deal, right? So anyway, on any real estate forum, this looked like a deal of the year, right? Right, because you know it yield more than 1%. Uh, when the gross meet the net. So even after the calculation, like the gross is here, the net based on my calculation, we're netting around $3,781. Now this one, if you use this, the return on investment is around 9.3%. How did I get that? I use the net, right? Estimated net, and then divided by the down payment, the money that we put for the down. So it's, the return is 9.3%, which is not too bad. And on top of that, we actually paying like $1,181 in principal every year. So that will reduce the principal, and we got a tax benefit by writing off tax here too, right? So there's a couple of things that benefit a lot by when we came into this deal, because we thought it's a really good. But anyway, let's see. And then let's see if I can go then. But the thing is, like, in the last few months itself, I noticed that we did a lot of repairs. And when the repairs come up here, let me see if I can bring that calculator, bring that file in for you to take a look at the repairs. Let's see. Oops, it's supposed to be here. Oh wait, where is it? Let me see if I can open it. Right. Let's see. Let's see. Back. Not that one. Investment calculator. Investment calculator. Investment calculator. No, not investment calculator. Next thing, recon. Wait. Rental records right here. So if I go to the rental records, like, as you can see, I only estimate repairs to be around 1,500 a month, right? But if I go to the repair records, this is the record all the repairs that we made for the property. So if you can see, I go by date, right? So when it's requested, so in November, which is when we first purchased it, we made a minor repair, which is drain the pool, so that's $550. So that is kind of like an anomaly. We don't do that often, so that could be a one-time thing, so it's not too bad. So in November we spent 500, right? And then December come, we spend another, as you can see the payout, we spend another 400 just to clean and repair some things in the property. Unit number is 4, so that's the unit number that we repair. 500. Now starting in January, look, so if I highlight this, as you can see, it's like 2,500. So we actually do a repair for 2,500. So that is a bit more than what we estimated, 1,500. Because if you look, so this one's not that bad. Small garbage disposal, small leak, thermostat, a weak cleanup, and then this one is the big one, which is like the, when we pay, this is like the mini split. So we have to put in some mini split for unit 13, and the deposit is 1,600. The total for the mini split plus material, miscellaneous cost, yeah, this like 2,700. So by January, we already spent 2,500 for the deposit of the mini split, right? And then February came. Oh, I see. This one is January still. Oh, with pay date. Okay. Sorry, this one's still January. So as you can see, I can go by date. Let's go by request date. It's easier because it's in order. Anyway, so request date September here, and then request date here. So as you can see, January, the whole month of January, we spent $9,000 in repairs. Mainly, there's a 2,700 mini split here, and then the utility bill is for those. This is when what is it? The city, they came up and they follow up with us, and they charge us for since the beginning when we first purchased, because they haven't changed the name over, so they charge us that much for the first utility bill. Now that utility bill is actually included in this calculation right here, trash, electricity and everything. So actually our estimate should be like around 2,700 a month. So let's see how much we spent in January for the whole month. It's 9,000, right? So the two mini split, I think there are more than like, let's see, the meat split, the utility bills, and then like you can see, the turnover for unit 7, which is paying somebody to fix the place before we rent it to somebody. And then there's a water heater, and then the repair unit 9 for rent, and as you can see, another repair for unit 10 for rent. So those should be a one-time item, because once we rent it out, we're hoping that we're not going to spend too much more after that. But then in February, look at this, another $10,000 in expenses, right? $10,000 in expenses in February, and let's see what's the big one. So we have to, so we can, so what happened is, as you can see here, let me see if I can find some more photos. Oh, they don't have any more photos of that place. But let's see if I can search this on Google and let you know. Let you see. So this is an unexpected expense right here, because before we close the deal, we have to purchase property insurance, right? So there is property insurance before we close this deal. But the problem is, after we close the deal, the insurance company sent an inspector. The inspector came, and the inspector looked at it, and as you won't be able to see it clearly, but right here is the piece of land. You can see from this angle right here, this piece of land, big piece of land right here, it used to have 8 units here. So it burned down a while back, and then now it's just a piece of land, but without any property on it. But the problem is, the insurance company came and said that is a trip hazard, and they require us to either clean it up, like put cement over and make it flat, completely even, or board it up. So the cost efficient way is to board it up with fence. So that's what the fence expense here is for. And this is only the half of the fence, like 2,700. I think the other half is right here. So the total for the fence is 5,500. So in February, we have to spend a lot of small stuff, and then an extra 5,500 for the fence, right? So another 5,500 for the fence, right? The material for the fence, that's a lot. And then fence material and labor, and then we have to flip the unit 3 for cleaning, so that's more expenses right here, right? Anyway, though, for the fixing and repairs, it shouldn't be a big deal, but the thing is, like, the AC, the fence, and then in March, let's see how much we spent in March. We spent 5,000, which is not too bad. So mold removal, but oh no, it's not too bad, because we only spent part of it. This is only a 25% for remove of the mold in unit 7. So we spent a little here, 1,300 for the deposit only, because the total for that is actually like 6,500 or more. So in March we didn't spend that much compared to the other month, but we did spend $5,000. A whole bunch of little repairs here and there. You have more mini split deposit, more mini split. We have to put in more mini split for unit 7, 11 there, and then and then more for the unit 7. And then as you can see down here, in April we spent a ton of money. In April we spent 17,000. That is because the mold, like 30% for the mold, and then 50% for the mold, and then the mold is like 6,800 total for cleaning the mold in unit 7 itself, one unit, right? So it is a one-time thing, hopefully, but it's a big expense. And then of course here, this one is actually it's wrapped into, because we use a credit card to pay for the property tax, so it shouldn't be that much. I think the real expense is only like 1,200. 8,000 in it is for property insurance. So we spend around, like, without the property insurance, I think we spent around like 9,000 in April. And as you can see, April, May, we spent how much? 7,500. And then June, the good thing is starting in June, the expenses like slow down a bit. It's not sure, like crazy, 4,000, so it's not too bad, but it's part of it. So you can see like mold remediation for another unit 8, a different one, and this leak in the wall for 5, 7, and 8. All those need to be repaired at the same time. And then 7, in this September, so far it's only 350. Right now, September 30th, I did spend some money for like a $2,000 to fix unit 5 full mode, so that will come up here. But as you can see, overall, within like the 7 month that we owned, probably 6, don't count on October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, 8 months, we spent 56,000 within 8 months. Add that, like around 60,000 in 8 months, right? So 60,000 divided by 8 months. As you can see, each month is average 7,500. Our calculation is only 1,400. So we actually overspend like 5,000 extra every month. No, 6,000 extra every month because of all the unexpected expenses. Actually not including the property tax, so it's like around 6,200. So we all spend $5,000 a month. So even though the 1% rule, this probably fit the 1% rule, but all the unexpected expenses starting to kill all of the cash flow. And that's the reason why we don't have much of a cash flow even after 8 months of owning it. So my problem, like my issue now is like, it's something that I just have to learn and move on with it. I mean, the thing is like, it's scaring me right now because the property tax is coming up, and then the property insurance is coming up. Insurance and tax alone is gonna be like $20,000. Right now we have like around $13,000 in the bank. So hopefully that's in the next 4 months we'll be able to build it up to pay the property tax or the insurance, and after that we can start building up the reserve again. But my takeaway from this is that my estimate for maintenance, electric, utility vacancy is too low. I only estimate 8%, 5%, and 5%. The actual one that going forward I'm gonna need to use is 15%, right? 8% and 7%. Now this one with the new percentage, this is the cash flow that should be looking at, right? And then I allocate how much, let's see. So now it's like at least I'll allocate 4,500 a month. I mean, it's not the same as 6,200 a month yet, but if you take away some of the big item like the AC that hopefully only need to be fixed once, the mower only need to be fixed once, and then coming out in June, June, we only have like 4,300 of repairs. 2 of them is mold already, mold and leak, so these one could go away. Without those items, it's only like how much? Without those items, it's only like 1,700. And then this one is like 350 plus $2,000, so it's like 2,500. So we do have some buffer to be able to so using the new calculation, it should be much better, and I will start using that going forward to calculate the cash flow. Because I mean, earlier you would estimate to pocket like around 3,700 a month. Turn out it's only like 1,600 a month. So anyway, my takeaway is like that. So anyway, even though it's a 1% rule, and it used to be able to work for everybody years ago, because the environment back then is like its price not that high, and then interest rate is lower, and then the rent are comparable or much better, and the quality of tenant. But nowadays, even if it's a 1%, if it's your 1%, make sure that you allocate enough for maintenance, utility, and vacancy to see if you have an adequate cash flow or not. Anyway, thank you so much for following my channel and watch this video, and hopefully I'll be able to update with more content regarding real estate soon. With that, I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.